So thank you everybody for listening. My name is Michael Cleary, and I lead the product solutions team of Wolters Kluwer in the Global Platform Organization. I'm here today with Nancy McKinstry, the CEO at Wolters Kluwer, to talk about trends and how they impact Wolters Kluwer and the customers we serve. Nancy, thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
To prepare for this, I sent out some feelers to my colleagues and even my family. And within mere hours, I was bombarded by thoughts, questions, and a fine collection of white papers. And I could only conclude that it's a trend to talk about trends. So here we are, and I wanted to know, what's your definition of trends and why do we care about them?
Yeah, certainly what we look at is trends that are impacting our customers and how they work. That's so critical to us. So if you look at the structural trends that have been at play in our markets over several years, the top three that I would highlight would be the constant pressure on our customers to improve the outcomes that they generate with their work and improve their productivity. I think that is the top trend. Every customer I speak to, the first thing they talk about is how they're being asked to do more with fewer resources. And I think we see that ourselves even in our daily work. So that's very critical to us. Second most important trend would be that there's just a huge increase in the volume of information and regulatory complexity that confront many of our customers. And then finally, the third most critical trend would just be the pace of technology developments and the direction that we're taking to develop expert solutions and really become a solutions company is really very much driven by these top three trends. The combination of our customers telling us, I've got to work smarter. There's just so much information and complexity. They cannot do it on their own, so they need help, coupled with technology that is really enabling us to be a solutions company. So I'm really excited about the fact that in every single market we operate in, these trends are present, and they've really been so critical to formulate the strategy for the next 3 years.
On the digital transformation, I was chatting with my father about this one. Our dining table is a special place for tax forms. Right? It's kind of like his hobby, doing taxes. Months the tax forms would be there. And he would write everything out by hand. And then when April came, he'd start getting excited and he'd make another copy by hand and mail it in. Then it was my turn for taxes. I did the same thing. I sat at the table, did it by hand, but then later TurboTax came along and those type of things where it was online. But in my head, it was still a form, and I was enabled online. Now, one of our boys is living with my father and sitting at the same table right now, this weekend, doing his taxes, but he's going online. He doesn't even know the forms exist. He just answers some questions and submits. And my father's like, well, where's the form? Where's the form? Right there at the table, you see the move from paper, and imagine accountants 40 years ago having to enable that for families, over to online solution. Do you see other examples of that at the higher level in our corporate customers, not only the family customers that they serve?
Yeah, absolutely. And what you're seeing is a couple of things, is that if you look at the workflow of our customers, you're describing a workflow, paper, write things down in paper, then you put it into a computer spreadsheet. If you look across all of our markets, whether it's tax and accounting, health, legal, financial services, and you look at our customers' workflow, what's changing is that they are looking to do two things. They need to simplify their work. It's gotten so complex that they need to simplify it. Second thing that they are looking for is automation. Because how do you improve productivity? It's by taking steps out of the workflow. And you're describing what's happened as technologies come to play in tax is that steps have been removed. And then the third thing they're looking for, which is really where we have a tremendous advantage, is that they want the products that they use to be integrated in a way that, again, gives them simplicity, gives them productivity benefits. And what that's demanded from us as a company is that we can no longer just deliver one product, but we need to really have a portfolio of products or a product suite that addresses the entire workflow that our customers are undertaking, and do that, again, in a very simple way so that they can use the tools very quickly to accomplish what they need to do.
What trend do you think we're best positioned to handle?
Yeah, I would say the trends that involve anything to do with the automation of workflows and the use of artificial intelligence and machine learning in our products. Because the reason those two things are most exciting for us is that Our sweet spot as a company is this intersection of you have to have deep knowledge of the workflow and of the specific area of law or medicine, and couple that with technology. That's really how we define an expert solution, is that intersection of deep domain knowledge with technology put together, deliver a product that helps our customers make a better decision or improve their productivity. So if you look at the trends that most impact that strategy, it's really around this workflow integration. Customers saying, I want to automate more of my work. I want things to work together so that I can get my work done more quickly and more accurately. That really speaks to workflow integration and automation of workflow. And then the second thing around artificial intelligence and machine learning is, by definition, that's making workflows smarter. So a perfect example is tying back to what you shared about your dad and your family, with tax form on the table, is that if you go back 15 years ago, a big portion, if you look at our US tax business, we probably had 20,000 subscribers to this 2-volume product called the Federal Tax Guide. Today we sell almost none of that product. And why is that? It's because our software that we provide to tax accountants to fill out the forms and send them in electronically, the knowledge that was resident in this Federal Tax Guide is baked completely into the software now. So the product has just gotten really smart. And so the customer doesn't need to buy that content because the content is already embedded in the product.
Are there any trends that you are concerned about?
Yeah, I would say the one thing that I don't feel we are quite yet prepared completely for is the trend around millennials coming as a major force within the workflow. Last year was the first year that millennials represent 50% of the global workforce. And I believe that millennials really have different needs. We see that in each of our markets. They tend to want to browse, buy, and everything that's done after a post-sale. They want that all in a digital environment. They want that all without human interaction and a really rich end-to-end customer experience. And we're not quite there yet. And I think we recognize that. We're beginning to invest more in building out technology stacks that can help us deliver that rich experience for customers, and focusing more of our go-to-market resources on digital marketing, which is really how those customers want to buy. The challenge over the next few years will be we still have to serve the current customers that still like the way we've been delivering products and selling products to them, but at the same time develop these rich end-to-end experiences so that we don't miss out on addressing the needs of the millennial customer. What we do see is some of these migrations are accelerating, but I believe that our strategy, which is that we keep our foundational products healthy and at the same time migrate our customers to next generation products, is the right strategy, versus forcing customers off a set of tools that they love today to sort of next generation. Whenever we've taken that approach, it's never worked out. And so our goal is, again, to have all the tools in place to let our customers continue to work the way they want to work, but constantly bringing out the next new thing. I mean, if you had asked me, just a quick comment, I think if you had asked me back in 2003, when I started as the CEO of Wolters Kluwer, would we still have print in our portfolio? I probably would have said no. I really believe that these things were going to rapidly...
More would be gone by now.
Right. And what we see over and over again when we watch how our customers work is that they're selecting a product, whether it's in the cloud or whether it's a printed book, they're selecting that product based on what are they actually trying to accomplish in their workflow. And sometimes they can look at a SaaS delivered product and say, that's perfect for me. Other times they might want that same capability on premise. Other times they might want it on their shelf. And again, our goal has got to be to optimize how we serve our customers. We have to have a very broad and integrated product portfolio so we can go to them and say, we have everything you need to be successful in your profession. That's our ideal positioning in the marketplace. And that gives us a real advantage over particularly smaller competitors, where they might be able to build one application that's terrific, but they lack the financial resources to really build out a host suite. And we are advantaged that we have that capability to continue to invest to build out these product portfolios.
It sounds like we're trying to follow and even lead our customers along with these trends, or anticipate how they'll be impacted by them. Are there any
I think that's very much true, Michael. I think what's interesting to me always is that the way we have to lead our customers is that we have to understand their pain points and we have to understand their workflow. Because if you just go out today, this happens often, is if you just go and ask a lawyer or a doctor or a tax accountant, how do you see your profession changing in the next 3 years? It's very, very difficult for them to talk about them. But if you watch the way they work, or you get down and talk about specific pain points that they have, then you really get insight into what creates real challenges for them. And from that level of insight, you can really figure out, okay, what kind of products do we need to build to help them?
Look at each workflow like the dining table.
Yeah, exactly.
So we were talking earlier about artificial intelligence and data and trying to apply that big data to specific problems, which kind of implies you don't need everything in the world. You need to bring to bear the data to solve a problem. How do you see us handling that at Wolters Kluwer? What's your strategy there?
Yeah, the use of big data applications is important to us in two dimensions. The first is actually managing our own workflow within the company. I mean, a lot of what we do is we take an enormous amount of information and data into Wolters Kluwer, and part of our value add to customers is that we make sense of that. We curate it, we organize it, and we put it in our products. So every year, and plus with more and more regulatory change, we have more and more work inside the house to create the products that we do for customers. So we are deploying big data techniques and machine learning to help with our own workflow. So there's some exciting things going on, particularly in GRC and within legal and regulatory, around just how do we use some of these big data tools to help ourselves. And then the second aspect is how do we create products that embed analytics and artificial intelligence or predictive intelligence into the product. And we have several examples of that across the portfolio, but I think we're coming into our own now in 2017 and 2018, where you're going to see more and more of our products use certain analytics. And again, what customers want is they just don't want insights, because then they say, well, what do I do with all of this? So we've created first generation of big data products. We're all about sort of giving them insights around certain elements that came out of the big data discovery. That was meaningful on some level, but we find more and more customers say, well, I don't know what to do with that insight you've just shared with me. So now, again, what the next generation of analytical products at Wolters Kluwer will be solving, again, a very specific problem that they have. And in 17 and 18, you're going to see us launch more and more products that use, again, big data solutions and analytics to drive those solutions for the customers.
Big data in a focused point.
In a focused way, yeah.
Get the data and technology that we need to bring to answer their
that
question.
Very specific set of questions, right? And we see that more and more, that's how then customers really respond to that.
Yeah.
CCHIQ is a great example of that, the product that was launched in Australia, where it helps solve a big pain point for accountants, which is all these regulatory change that comes about in any year. Which of their customers are affected by those regulatory change aspects. And the CCHIQ helps them very quickly identify those customers, and importantly helps them do an outreach to the customer to help, again, keep them abreast of what's going on.
And that we started from looking at the problem space and then found, oh, if we build a bridge here between these two areas, it'll solve an issue they have and bring some value. We didn't come to it with, here's a set of technologies, let's go play. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
It was more an
very,
application.
very, again, sort of down in the, sometimes I always say we have to be down in the weeds in order to really see how we can continue to add value to the customers. And that's proven to be the case, is this deep domain knowledge that we have, and this deep knowledge of the workflow continues to be the very positive advantage that we can get in the marketplace. And if you look now at the focus of the whole gig economy, where people are going to have lots of different jobs, it's all about lifelong learning. It's about this constant need to keep your skills up because of the technology advancement and because of the notion that you're going to move around more in your work life. That is at the origins of who we are. We're a company that works incredibly hard to make the lives of our customers better, and we do that by constantly imparting knowledge and embedding in our products a lot of knowledge, so our customers don't have to worry about that themselves, but the products help them become smart. So I think this whole notion of expert solutions and smart products really plays to the heart of Wolters Kluwer, which has been this sort of learning business.
Learning, sharing,
absolutely.
helping.
And so I think there's a nice connection there.
Exciting times at Wolters Kluwer.
Yes, absolutely.
We are the trend.
Thank
you very much. It's really a pleasure.
Thank you.